Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about the chapter Molecular Basis of Inheritance, which is in class 12 CBSE syllabus. And the part 6 here focuses on the transforming principle. Today we all know that DNA is the genetic material. But way back many years ago, people did not really know that DNA is the genetic material. They were like either DNA or RNA or proteins. They were thinking that any of these three can be the genetic material. And there were multiple experiments that were carried out by different scientists that ultimately led to the conclusion that DNA is the genetic material. So transforming principle was one of the initial experiments that were performed. And from the point of view of NIT examination, sometimes there are certain questions that can be asked from this part, and we'll see what kind of questions as we progress through the video. So Frederick Griffith. Who was Frederick Griffith? Frederick Griffith was an English military physician, and while studying pneumococcal infections in mice, he discovered bacterial transformation in 1928. And from Frederick Griffith, it is also called as the Griffith's effect. It is important, that you remember that Frederick Griffith was the one who discovered bacterial transformation, who did this transformation experiment in mice. Okay, and while studying pneumococcal infections, because sometimes there will be certain match the following questions, and one of the options can be this like bacterial transformation experiment, and on the other side there will be Frederick Griffith or Griffith effect somewhere. So it is important that you know that Frederick Griffith did the bacterial transformation experiment in mice. So what is transformation? Transformation is the change in organism's characteristic because of transfer of genetic information. When there is transfer of genetic information, there are changes in organism's characteristics, which is transformation. And this transformation experiment was conducted using bacterium Streptococcus pneumoniae that causes pneumonia. We all know what is pneumonia, right? So it is caused by bacterium. Again, you have to remember this. By which bacterium is pneumonia caused? It is by Streptococcus pneumoniae. Okay, again, in match the following questions, there can be sometimes this option as well. And since mice are quite sensitive, to pneumococci, to this bacterial infection, they are used as test animals, because when there is infection by Streptococcus pneumonia in mice, the mice develop pneumonia and ultimately they die, so they are very sensitive. So this is the perfect test organism to do this kind of experiment, and therefore they chose mice. So what is pneumococci? Pneumococci is the bacterium that causes pneumonia. So pneumococci with capsules produce smooth shining colonies as they have mucus polysaccharide coat, while those lacking the capsule produce rough colonies with a coarse appearance. So this pneumococci bacteria, let's say this is the pneumococci bacteria, and then there are two types of these pneumococci. One that have a coating, it is this mucus coating of polysaccharide. And this mucus coating of polysaccharide gives it a shiny appearance, and therefore this is called as the S strain. Okay, because it gives shining colonies. And then the second type is rough. This rough one does not have any polysaccharide coating, and therefore it makes rough colonies and gives a coarse appearance. What is colony? We have discussed this previously. When there is a bacteria that grows, this is called as a bacterial colony. Like it grows in a particular medium, and then when there are multiples of these bacteria together, this is called as the colony of bacteria. So when it is the S strain, these colonies are shiny colonies. Okay. And when it is the R strain, this R strain has no polysaccharide coating. It is rough colony. And only the S strain of Streptococcus pneumoniae is capable of causing pneumonia. Okay. So now we will see this experiment step by step. So the various steps in the experiment are as follows. One group of mice was injected with heat-killed S strain of S pneumonia. The mice did not develop pneumonia and survived. So you see here, this is the S strain. There is this bacterium which is surrounded by this mucus layer of polysaccharide. So what I told you before is that S strain can cause pneumonia and therefore it can kill the animals. But here they used heat-killed S strain, which means this S strain was exposed to high amount of heat, as a result of which it got killed. Okay, so this is this heat-killed S strain, and that is why the mice lived. Mice did not die because the factor in the S strain that was capable of killing the mouse has been heat-killed. It's a bit confusing, but you have to understand that in general, if it is a normal S strain, it will kill the mice because mice will develop pneumonia. However, in this particular group, the mice was injected with heat-killed S strain. Okay, so this S strain here was heat-killed itself, and therefore the transforming principle required to cause pneumonia was not present and the mice survived. Then is the second group. The second group was injected with live S strain. So live S strain is the normal S strain that kills the animal, and the mice that received the live smooth pneumococci developed pneumonia and died. Okay, very simple. Again, this is here the polysaccharide coating of mucus that gives the shiny appearance to the S strain. So here the mouse died. So if we revise what happened in the first group, it was heat-killed smooth pneumococci, that is heat-killed S strain. Okay, and here it is live virulent smooth pneumococci with capsules, that is live S strain. So when live S strain is injected, the mice dies. And then there is this third group. The third group was injected with live R strain of pneumococci, and the mice did not develop pneumonia and survived, because you see this is the R strain here. This is the live R strain. And live R strain, you see, this doesn't have this polysaccharide coating that is present in the S strain, and also they are not virulent. So they are live, non-virulent, rough pneumococci without capsule, and as a result of which the mouse lives. So very simple, there are three groups here till now. 1, 2, 3. The first group was heat-killed S strain, mice lives. Then was live S strain, mice dies. And then live R strain, mice lives. So only the live S strain will kill the animal. Okay. Neither will heat-killed nor will live R strain. And now is the most important part, where there is the fourth group. Okay, so just follow step by step. The fourth group was injected with a mixture of live R strain and heat-killed S strain of pneumococci, neither of which is lethal by itself. You see, here we saw three groups. And this one was heat-killed S strain, and this one here is the live R strain. And in both of the cases, the mouse lives, the mice survives. So this fourth group here, this is the fourth group that they created, where it was the heat-killed S strain and the live R strain. So none of them is capable of killing the animals. But some of the mice which received the mixture also died of pneumonia. You see, ideally this heat-killed S strain and live R strain, in normal condition, they are not making the animal dead. However, when you put both of them together, the animal dies. And then, from this dead animal, the live S strain as well as R strain bacteria were recovered. So this is very interesting, So here we started with heat-killed S strain, and here we started with live R strain. But the animal died. None of these individually here were capable of killing the animal. The animal survived in both the cases. But now when they were mixed together, the animal died. And moreover, the even further interesting fact is when they dissected this animal, they found live S strain. They found live S strain in these animals. So some magic happened that converted this heat killed S strain into live S strain. At that time we could have said it's magic, but now we know what it is, and we'll see slowly what it is. So based on these observations, Griffith concluded that some material had been transformed from R strain to the S strain when some transforming principle was transferred from the heat killed S strain to the live R strain. Okay, so here is now where they talk about the principle, what would have happened. Some material had been transformed from the R strain to S strain when some transforming principle was transferred from the heat killed S strain to the live R strain. This made the R strain to synthesize capsules and become virulent. Okay, once again, what is the difference between R strain and S strain? The R strain does not have capsule, whereas the S strain has this capsule, which is the mucus layer of polysaccharide, and it is because of this layer that the S strain is virulent. What is virulent? That it kills the animals in which it goes. So here they say that there was some kind of transforming principle that made the R strain to synthesize capsules. So now this R strain was capable of synthesizing capsules and it became virulent. The change from R to S strain was also heritable. Okay, so this change from R to S strain by developing this mucus layer of polysaccharide was heritable. However, the biochemical nature of transforming principle could not be ascertained. Okay, here they couldn't say, if this heritable or transforming principle, whether it was DNA, RNA or protein. But they got to know that there is something that is heritable, that is converting this R into S. So it is now known that the R strain of bacteria took up naked DNA liberated from dead S strain of bacteria. Okay, now today we know that it was naked DNA. But at the time when Griffith did this experiment in the year 1928, we did not know that. So what happened, that these are the heat killed. This is the heat killed S strain. But then there was certain naked DNA that came out, this is the naked DNA that came out, that was taken up by this R strain, and this converted this R strain into developing a capsule and becoming virulent. And this naked DNA was integrated into the DNA of R strain of bacteria. Okay, is it clear that this heat killed S strain released certain DNA? When it is heat killed, it is dead. As a result of which the components of the cell will come out, and the DNA came out, which was taken up by the R strain that got it converted into the S strain. And then this is the DNA of the R strain, and then the DNA of this heat killed got integrated, and as a result of which this R strain developed a capsule and got converted into S strain and become virulent. R strain that took up DNA that had genes for capsule production were genetically transformed into S strain. So this R strain, it basically took up the DNA of the heat killed S strain and got converted into S strain, and as a result of which the mice died. So next was biochemical characterization of the transforming principle. So the transforming principle initially, was considered to be proteins. And there were some scientists, Oswald, Collin and MacLean, that conducted a series of experiments between 1933 and 1944. See, today how easily we study that DNA is the genetic material. But way then, when the discovery was being made, people had no idea. And that is how, how science works. That is how biology works. When you start with a hypothesis, you have no idea of what is going to happen. But in the end, the result is very interesting. Okay, so these experiments that were performed were to determine the exact biochemical nature of transforming principle in the Griffith experiment or the transforming principle experiment. And what do they mean by biochemical nature? Whether it is DNA, whether it is RNA, or it is proteins, or it is something entirely else. But these were the hot targets. So what they did is they removed nucleic acids from bacteria, heat killed S cells and purified the proteins, RNA and DNA from the extract to test which of these caused transformation. Okay. So they removed the nucleic acids from the bacteria, that is heat killed S cells, and purified the proteins, RNA and DNA. So the highly purified DNA from S cells were treated with the following enzymes. It was treated with deoxyribonuclease that degrades DNA, ribonuclease RNA which degrades RNA, and proteases which degrades proteins. And then the DNA was tested for its ability to transform R cells into S cells. So you understand what they did? They basically carried out 3 different experiments in which the heat killed S cells, they purified the DNA from heat killed S cells and subjected, in the first experiment, they subjected it to DNAs. Okay, and then again, they carried out the same experiment where they mixed it with the R strain and saw what happens. The second experiment was that they again purified the DNA from the heat killed S cells and treated with RNAs, and again carried out the same experiment of mixing this RNase treated heat killed S strain with the live R strain to see if the mice dies or not. And the third, they did similar by adding proteases. Okay, so these were like 3 independent experiments they did. And then the DNA was tested for its ability to transform R cells into S cells. It was found that only DNA was responsible for transformation, because when DNA was treated with DNase, which degrades DNA, transformation was not possible. So what happened is, here they added DNase to the heat killed S strain. Okay, once they added DNase, the DNA was degraded. Here they added RNase to the heat killed S strain, RNA was degraded. And here they added proteases to this heat kill strain, so proteins were not active. Here the DNA was not active. So how they got to know that it is actually DNA? Because in the first experiment they did, they found that the animals survived, because the R strain was not converted into the S strain because there was no DNA of the S strain. Okay. However, here, they added the RNA. They did not do anything to the DNA or protein, but they found that yes, the experiment worked. So this experiment concluded that either it could be DNA or it could be protein, And this experiment again, when they did, they found that the animals survived. The animals did not die in both these experiments here, When they did the same fourth experiment, the fourth group experiment, where they took heat killed S strain and live R strain, both of which are not capable of individually killing the animals, but together it resulted in death. However, when they did it in the presence of RNAs and proteases, they found that the animals survived. However, when they did it in the presence of DNAs, they found that the animals lived. And that is why it was found that only DNA was responsible for transformation, because when DNA was treated with DNase that degrades DNA, transformation was not possible. And how they saw that it was not possible? Because the mice survived. Okay. Is it clear? It should be very clear. Otherwise, just rewind and go through it again. And this result strongly suggested that DNA is the hereditary material. So this was one of the initial experiments, that were carried out. So this video really focused on this transforming principle. It is very important, that you understand the whole experiment, because sometimes there can be some questions, here and there that can be asked. And also you must remember, who did the experiment. So it is the Griffith experiment. Frederick Griffith did the experiment. He did it in mice and by using Streptococcus pneumoniae that causes pneumonia. Thank you for watching the video.